Surprise, bitch. I bet you thought you'd seen the last of me.
Are you supposed to talk about the Visa MasterCard censorship NWO on Steam after they held Japan hostage? I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about, huh? I haven't been super tuned into, like, drama in general, just kind of what Matt and the boys send me. What happened with Visa and MasterCard? Valve confirms credit card companies pressured it to delist certain adult games from Steam. It's MasterCard's world, we just live in it. It's my understanding based on recent communique from Valve to PC Gamer, which confirmed that, yep, the company sure did recently remove a whole spate of adult games from its storefront because it made payment processors upset. We were recently notified that certain games on Steam may violate the rules and standards set forth by our payment processors and their related card networks and banks. As a result, we are retiring those games from being sold on the Steam store. Yikes. Ooh. Valve's reaching out to devs impacted by the change and issuing app credits should they have another game they'd like to distribute on Steam in the future. What? They're bending the knee to the processors, the payment processors. Classic. Were they threatening to, like, pull processing from Steam over having some adult games on the platform? Yeah. That's crazy, man. That is so absurd. To be fair to the house that Gabe Newell built, I don't think it has much of a choice. Valve explicitly said it was removing the offending games because loss of payment methods would prevent customers from being able to purchase other titles and game content on Steam. It seems quite clear to me from those kinds of statements that Valve's chafing a little under payment processors' tyranny, but I suspect even Steam can't really go toe-to-toe with the likes of Visa and MasterCard. Valve didn't say which games specifically have been yoinked off Steam as a result of the credit card companies throwing their weight around, but I don't think it takes priority to put this one together. Priority. I don't think it takes... I don't know who that is. Is that the guy from Pink Panther? As we noted in our original piece on Steam's new rule for forbidding content that upsets payment processors, the appearance of this new regulation in Steam's documentation coincides with the sudden disappearance of a bunch of adult games with a theme of keeping it in the family. Incest is the word. Well, I guess payment processors can now just bully companies into just removing shit from their services. Which I think they always have done. Just maybe not this blatant and in your face. Cool. That's exciting. You love to see that. There has to be some reason other than moral, right? No, it would 100% just be like a moral thing. I guess. Like, I can't think of a single other argument. Because it actually has zero effect on the payment processors. So some dude up the food chain must have just said, I don't like that there's the incest adult games on Steam. Let's remove our services from Steam until they get rid of that shit and bow to us. Sucks for the game devs, but I'm glad those games aren't going to be on there anymore. That's how it always starts. No, surely this act of censorship is going to stop here and won't spiral out of control. Surely these credit card companies that are acting as moral arbiters now are going to stop at just these games I don't like. Surely that won't be used for more. Did payment processors bully OnlyFans before? Oh, didn't payment processors bully OnlyFans before? They've always been this way. I vaguely recall one of the credit card cartel like trying to throw their weight around in OnlyFans, but it didn't work out. And now I don't hear anything about it, so I'm guessing it didn't work. It did work? Did it? How about I just look it up? I don't know why I'm just asking. Just look it up. Nope. As of January 25th, 2025, MasterCard and Visa failed to stop payments on OnlyFans. Oh, wait. I should have read the rest of the headline. MasterCard and Visa failed to stop payments on OnlyFans for child sex abuse content. That headline was different than what the search was looking for. I didn't hear shit about this. What is this about? Apparently it has to do with people laundering through OnlyFans for that material. A whistleblower filed a complaint with the Treasury Financial Crimes Unit about it. Collective Shout is the one behind Steam censorship, and it's come out they've protected people who abuse kids. They're going after Detroit Become Human. The hell is Collective Shout? Sounds like a cult. Not-for-profit company limited by guarantee, governed by board of directors. We are independent registered. What? Oh. Demand payment processors stop facilitating rape, incest, and child abuse game sales. They targeted 500 games for removal from Steam, with 81 titles that they want delisted. Why Detroit Become Human? Okay, so it seems like, at least according to this here, I'll just pull it up on screen. I don't know why I'm reading it off here. Oh, here it is. In other words, it seems virtually impossible for Steam to host any adult games depicting child abuse. Rather, Collective Shout may be targeting popular video games that depict children in scenarios where they face distress or harm, even if these depictions are intended to encourage concern and care in the player. From there, the organization may be describing these titles as featuring child abuse. In 2018, Collective Shout encouraged its supporters to sign a petition to ban Detroit Become Human for sale in Australia, claiming the game features child abuse and violence against women. The petition focused on an abusive father's violent behavior towards his housekeeper and daughter in the game. This dynamic, core to the character Kara's story arc, is intended to encourage empathy for the abused woman and child. While it's unclear whether Collective Shout is actively targeting Detroit Become Human in 2025, the removal of such a game would be akin to artistic censorship of material discussing misogynistic abuse against female family members. Targeting the game, in other words, could be considered anti-feminist in intent. That's fucking baffling. I'm curious then. This is a really broad scope here. Like what they discuss as child abuse, which is any game depicting a child in scenarios where they face distress or harm. That would include things like Little Nightmares, Out of Sight, fucking Limbo, any game really. Like, actually. Last of Us, that'd be like an unbelievable amount of games. How perplexing. Detroit Become Human is a really weird one for them to go after for that as well. That doesn't really make any sense. In 2014, the organization called on Target to remove Grand Theft Auto 5 from store shelves, sharing a petition that claims the game encourages players to commit sexual violence and kill women. Collective Shout described GTA as if it were a misogynistic funhouse, stating the game lets players enact their fantasies of committing extreme violence against women, including punching women to the point of unconsciousness, killing them with a bat, gun, or machete, running them down with a car, and setting them on fire as they continue screaming. What world are we living in? What? So that all this is only reserved and acceptable if it's men. Like if you're killing men with a bat, gun, and machete, running them down with a car and setting them on fire as they scream. Like if they're making the argument that it's so violent that it's disturbing, like you do this to men and women, it'd like make more sense from their very low IQ take on it. But the fact that it's only focused on women when that is not, it's not like GTA says you need to go burn this woman alive and then commit sexual violence against all of these women to progress the game. Like it's just absolutely fucking nothing. Oh yeah, God of War also would be in the crosshairs because it's not just Kratos. He's got a son who faces distress and harm. It's pretty much everything. Like, pretty much every game. How interesting. And they're winning. Collective Shout did just successfully bully payment processors to threaten to pull out of Steam. Unless they banned the games that Collective Shout wanted them to ban, which they did, they complied. So I'm curious to see where this goes next. Wonder what other games they're going to go for. Expedition 33 as well. Oh, true. Yeah, my L. Not surprised it's Australia-based. Australia has crazy game censorship. Yeah, but they're pushing for global cleansing of women and, I guess, children in video games. It should be only men forever in games, I suppose, is kind of their mission from the sound of things. You can't have a game where a woman is in distress or harm, nor a child. It can only be men. An interesting mission, I guess, when you really boil it down. Isn't that actually sexism? Well, as the article points out, basically what they're targeting is the antithesis of what they're claiming they are. Like, the things they want banned are legitimately things that would be perceived as anti-feminist in intent. And from what I read on their website, they identify as like a feminist-first organization or something to that effect. And in doing so, they're basically trying to remove women from games. Like, women aren't allowed to be in GTA because if they are, they can be killed with a bat, gun, or machete, same as a man. Which is a problem, I suppose. Well, no, I guess another... Maybe their suggestion is all women in these games should be, like, immortal? Like, you can't interact with the characters outside of dialogue, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't think any game would do that. That wouldn't make any sense. You wouldn't be able to play as a woman in a game. That's how I am interpreting it as well. That's how it sounds from, like, their previous targets in the past. Like, how could you possibly play a Tomb Raider game? Because literally this can happen to Lara. Like, this literal thing they point out here for why GTA needs to be banned is exactly what Lara goes through as the protagonist. So how would Tomb Raider exist under this? Very interesting. Very, very interesting.